in the campaign?
Pastor Rob, we've been super, super busy. My wife is here.
Yeah.
She is my ace, my right hand. So
Yes.
we've been doing a lot. We've been marketing ourselves really well, knocking on doors, doing a lot of programs such as this one,
Yeah.
trying to get the name out there. Because as much as I'm the most qualified candidate in this race, and I'll continue to say that,
Hmm.
what we realize is we got to still get the name out there. People got to know that name, and
Yes. Yes.
and the more we can get my information out there, and one of the reasons why I'm here is, there's a huge population in Newton County of a Caribbean diaspora. So we need every single
Wow.
person of Caribbean descent to go out and vote on May 21st. Of course, early voting begins next Monday, April 29th, through uh, May 17th, but the actual election day is May 21st. So get out there, go early, vote for Brent
Yeah.
Bennett. We need, in fact, I was telling my wife this earlier. I think when I win this election, because I'll speak it into
All
existence,
right.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking
when I
about.
win, I think I'll be the first person of Caribbean descent to be elected into office in Newton County.
That's
Wow.
right.
Wow.
We're talking about another record here, Pastor Rob.
Yeah.
So speak that thing,
We're
Brother
gonna speak it
Bennett.
into existence and make it
Yes,
happen.
yes.
That's
The
right,
next
that's
tax
right.
commissioner in Newton County, ladies and gentlemen, will be Brent Bennett. Check.
And you heard it here.
Right here,
At
right here on
Caribbean
Caribbean
Extravaganza.
Extravaganza.
Okay,
I
yes,
love
I
it. I
do.
love it.
All
I
right.
love it, man. So you know what? He was here recently, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? We always need a reminder, a refresher, and that's exactly what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We want to make sure you know that this is not only a candidate for your tax commissioner's office, but this gentleman is an amazing husband to his beautiful bride, his wonderful children, and to the community at large. He's a community person, a community activist. I mean, he's the co-founder of Covington Galaxy Soccer Club. I mean, soccer, yes. We say football in the islands, which is really the
Absolutely.
true football.
Yeah,
Would you
man.
say?
Yeah, I grew up saying football, but
Me too.
when in Rome, right?
Yeah. That's right.
You
That's
gotta
right.
do,
Of
you gotta
course.
switch, but I mean, the YMCA volunteer. I mean, was a volunteer there. You grew up in the county, didn't you?
Yeah.
You spent quite a few of your years there, didn't
So
you?
my wife and I, we've been married for 28 years. We have
Wow.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
28.
Congratulations.
28 years.
I thought you were gonna tell me. Okay, 'cause
But
I
this year will
was-
be 28 years, right? And actually in 2 days.
Oh, well.
Interesting.
So it's
Anniversary.
and they barely look older
Yeah.
than 28.
Yeah. So, and we have three boys. Our oldest son will be 28 next month, and we have a 25-year-old and also a 22-year-old.
Wow.
But we moved to Newton County 23 years ago in 2001. And I've worked I've worked for I've been a long time government employee, to be honest, public servant. I worked for the Cap County Tax Commissioner's Office for 15 years. Last 10 or the last decade of that 15, I was the motor vehicle director. I managed a staff of about 60 employees, 2 satellite locations, handled property tax functions, ran a call center, a mail room, quite frankly, the entire operations. And, when it was time for me to move on and advance my career, for the people that are listening in Newton County, or people in Georgia for that matter, most people don't realize that the tax commissioner is an agent of the Georgia Department of Revenue. And so I actually went to work for the Georgia Department of Revenue, first as the deputy director, and then eventually I became the director, the state director of motor vehicles. So my job was to train all 150 county tax commissioners in the state of Georgia.
Wow.
So in essence, it's interesting. I train these people that know I'm running for their job. So, and the reason why I'm saying that is that I am
That's all
the
right.
only one that from day one I could walk into that office and know exactly what to do. There's very little transition, and I could go in and take it. And when I worked at the Department of Revenue, I again, I'm coaching. I'm training 159 county tax commissioners office and staff. So think of the scope of the job, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
In essence, when I have to make a decision,
Yes.
I know it's going to affect thousands of people.
Yeah.
So it's a very complicated role, one that I enjoyed. And so I'll tell you, people say, well, why did you leave that job? So currently I work for the Georgia Department of Driver Services, where in Georgia, for people that live here, we split. We don't have a DMV. We have a Georgia Department of Driver Services and the Department of Revenue. And so I'm now working for the Georgia Department of Driver Services. I'm the Director of Regulatory Compliance, which again is another statewide position.
Okay.
Where I manage the staff. We kind of handle all of the driver safety programs in Georgia, DUI schools. We manage, we kind of oversee, I should say, oversee DUI schools, driver improvement schools, driver training schools, and most and foremost, most people would know the CDL program.
Yes.
We run the CDL program in the state. So I have a tremendous amount of experience, leadership experience, that I don't believe anybody else in the race matches. I have the subject matter expertise
Okay.
that nobody definitely can match.
Okay, all right.
I'm an educated guy. You know, I went to college here, and for our West Indian folks, how do you get here? Well, I came to the United States at 19 years old on a football scholarship, right?
Football
Soccer
scholarships.
Yeah,
That's right.
And I graduated in 4 years, and graduated with a degree in business management. And then a few years later, I moved to Atlanta, and then I did my master's in human resources management. So
Okay, all right.
I understand the people side, I understand the
Yes,
operational
operation
side.
side.
So I feel like I'm the perfect package.
You are.
Okay.
You are. You
Yes,
certainly
thank you.
are.
Yeah.
And
Why
there you
not?
have it, and
Why
folks.
not?
I mean,
You
he
know?
is the
Yeah.
candidate. I mean,
Right.
when I read this gentleman's background, I researched you, by the way,
Yeah,
because
I want
do
you to.
that. I do that, and so I did my research, and I was thinking, man, if I could only do like some folks do. I mean, I would never do that, but I'm just saying. What I did, I called up everyone I knew in that county, and I said,
Yeah.
listen, get out there. And I still am calling up until the 9th hour,
Yes.
because you know what? We want qualified people, not because they look like us, but yeah, of course, because they can relate to us.
Right.
You know, they're relatable, but we want people who get the job
Done.
done. And that's exactly what we see in you. You would not believe it, but I've spoken to your wife, and let me tell you something. You're pulling punches, dude. I mean, you really are, and I really appreciate that, Pastor Rob.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes,
it's
of
a
course.
great team that they have. So you know what they say: behind every great man, there's a
Yes.
powerhouse of a woman.
That's good.
And that's who she is. So you know what? We can't ask for a better person to rock that tax commissioner's office on
Yeah,
that day. So
yeah.
we're celebrating in advance, Brother Bennett.
Yeah, I would tell you, you ask, for somebody like me,
Yes.
people like me don't really run for tax commissioner, and I'll tell you why. I'm running for the right reasons. Some people will tell you my career is going backwards. Some people will say that, and that's the truth. I don't see it that way. I see it as a way for me to give back. We talk about the YMCA. I played soccer in college. I was a pretty good player. I was a two-time All-American, and I could have gotten paid to coach anywhere. I chose not to. I chose to coach for free. And I think I said this on the last show that I was at. My parents were public servants as well.
Yes.
In Trinidad at the time, and so I saw what they were doing, and if my parents had to pay for me to go to coaching schools and do all of that stuff, I wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
And I felt that there was a need for me to give back to my community, and I did that for 20 plus years, my brother and I. So we never took a dime at the YMCA. We volunteered. Like I said, I started the soccer program at the YMCA, the Soccer Galaxy program, which is a higher level than recreational. It was competitive. And I wanted to do that. And so now this is my next step, right? I will tell people this, and I will say this proudly. The job that I'm applying for or trying to get elected for is a pay cut for me.
Yeah.
It is. It's a fact. You could go look it up.
Yeah.
It is a pay cut. And I felt like it's a higher calling.
Yeah.
In some regards, that I
Yes.
need to do that to help the people, and to have the best. And there was a candidate forum last week that I attended, and like I told people, if you want the best, you gotta hire the best.
Yeah.
And
That's
without a doubt, I believe I am the best.
You
And
are.
so I'm a very confident person, not an arrogant person. But I know that I'm the best person for this job,
Yeah.
and I hope that everybody in Newton County comes out and supports me. But specifically, I need my Caribbean people
Yes.
to come out
Yeah,
and support me.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So just name a couple of the things that you would affect being in that position. Some things that you believe that can be done differently, or some things that you will bring to the table.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I think my level of professionalism is at the top of the charts. I have the experience. I've dealt with some of these things at a much higher level. Like I said, my job is to train.
Yeah.
And for me, the first thing I would do is I would do a training needs assessment to assess
Love
the
that.
staff.
Love that.
Right? The level of competence in the staff. What training do they need? Because ultimately, it's a customer service job.
All right now.
when my wife and I campaign and we knock on doors, the first thing people say is, "How are you going to lower my taxes?" And I'm sorry to tell people, the truth is, this is the first question we get. And the first thing I tell people is, that's not the role of the tax commissioner.
Right.
correct.
The tax assessors department sets the values. The board of commissioners, school board, and local municipalities set their millage rates, or what we call the tax rates. What the tax commissioner does is compile compile that data and send the property tax bills. So essentially, the tax commissioner's role is to bill, collect, and then disperse back based on those levying authorities to the appropriate folks, or to the right. Also, but a big component of that is customer service. And if you know anything about what we call the tag office here in Georgia,
Yes. Oh,
right,
yeah.
right, and that's what I ran. What happens is it's a customer service environment, right? So for me, as a motor vehicle expert nationally, I can train the staff better than anybody can, right? I'll tell you all a story. When I first worked, I got hired at the Georgia Department of Revenue. I walked into the office, and there were 5-hour wait times. People on the phone holding for 5 hours to answer a phone call. And I remember walking home and telling my wife, this was like the first or second day, I might have bit off a little bit more than I could chew. And she said, no, you can do it. You can do it. You have the capacity to do it. So I set out about how am I going to solve this problem, right? And we did some things relative to HR, how we trained people. I created a bunch of training modules to train the staff, because one thing I know is this. I personally believe no one comes to work trying to screw up.
All right, come on.
The reason why
Yes.
people are unsuccessful in roles is because they're not trained properly. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe, we say people is the lifeblood of our organization. I agree. But a properly trained employee is really the lifeblood of your organization.
Okay.
So I feel like you have to train your employees really well. And I can do that. I have a history of doing that both in DeKalb County and the Department of Revenue. I will tell you, 10 months after waiting 5-hour call times, we were averaging calls in roughly 2.5 minutes.
Wow. That's great.
So I have a friend of mine that was working Facebook at the time. He's a senior HR executive. And he said to me, bro, Brent, what did they give you for that? I work for the government. We don't get special favors. We don't get bonuses. He said, let me tell you something. If you were working at Facebook, you'd be very well off.
Yes.
Right? And so, but I have that genuine heart and willingness to improve, right? Yes. I'm not focused on money. I'm not driven by money. I'm driven by satisfaction. I'm driven by enjoying what I do.
Okay.
Because people say, if you enjoy what you do, you never worked a day in your life.
That's right. That's right.
Right? And that's where my character comes in, right? I really want to demonstrate that to people.
Wow.
And I believe I can really train staff. I can definitely change that office around
Right.
where people are proud, would be proud of the office and proud of Newton County in general.
That's
we
great.
need people like you.
That's great.
That's what we
Thank
knew.
you.
If we could just, I'm serious about that. If we could just have persons where ethics is a big deal, because that's what it is. It's all about ethics, plain, simple ethics. I mean, the job will be done all around. But you know what? We have people who are ghosting, people who are unethical, to be nice, very unethical. I mean, do things fraudulently. And so we want people who are accountable, people who are transparent, and just vulnerable like yourself, just open to the public. This is what it's all about. That's what politicians should do. That's when you go into the office. That's what you should expect. So the fact that you are taking a pay cut, that alone in and of itself, Pastor Rob, tells me that he is
He's
that
motivated,
person.
dedicated.
He is, because he's going to dedicate his time and his life, to serving. That's what a servant
Right, right.
does.
So,
Servant, the politicians are servants.
So essentially, you just described my leadership style, which is
Right.
servant
Yes.
leadership,
Oh, I
right?
see that.
That's
Yes.
exactly
Pastor
what
Rob
it
knows
is.
what I'm talking about
know
when
exactly
I say
what
servant
you're talking
leadership.
about, yeah.
And
Yes.
that's just me. And you could ask my wife, that's just who I am. You could talk to anybody. I'm a selfless person
Okay.
in
Yes.
general, right? I am not, everything, there's a bigger cause while we're here.
Yes.
Is a bigger cause, and that's who I am, quite frankly. And I want people to know that about me.
Yeah.
People call me at all the times, and I help anybody at any time for any reason.
Okay.
There has to be a reason. There does not have to be a reason. So that's who I am in a nutshell.
Yeah.
And it's your
So,
calling.
folks,
Yeah.
if you've just joined us here
Yes.
at Caribbeanlifetv, we are speaking to Mr. Brent Bennett, tax commissioner,
Candidate, right, for tax
candidate
commissioner, yeah.
of Newton County, and he's definitely one of the most qualified individual for a position that
The
I've
most
qualified.
qualified, Pastor Bob.
The
The most qualified.
He is the qualified
Okay,
one.
yeah. Yeah, what I was just thinking about when he was talking about wait time in line, I used to be a
Yes.
postmaster over, send some of your expertise over. Yeah, I'm retired now, but let's deal with some wait time in line issues,
You
boy.
know what?
'Cause,
Yes, he must. Pastor Rob saw my post about the USPS. I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
they're struggling
that's-
right now.
yeah.
abominable.
Yeah.
But again,
Yes.
I want everybody to know that, you're going to be proud of me and proud of
Yes.
the office when I win this election. And, you asked another question earlier, and I should have
Yes.
probably expanded upon that. What's another thing that I want to do, right?
Yes, please do.
The most important thing in public office is all about transparency and integrity for me, right?
Yes.
You got to have transparency, you got to have integrity. So one of the things I would do to show the transparency piece is to develop an annual report on an annual basis. So when we collect those taxes, we need to show the citizens where we're sending that money. And again, it's based on levying authority, but how much money we collected, where do we send it, etc. And people need to know that type of stuff in terms of transparency. Because, again, that's very important. People ask me, because when you win, you'll forget. No, I'm not going to change. Again, people have to also remember you have to do things at scale. And what I mean by that is you have to do it at size, right?
Yes.
So yeah, it's Newton County is a county of 100,000 plus residents. So it's something that you have to work out and work to scale. But I definitely want to do that annual report to be transparent. I'm a man of integrity.
Yeah.
And it's all about that development, like I said, the employees in terms of professional development. And another thing I want to do is have that community outreach. And we have, I've demonstrated that in my career. I remember when I went to work for the Georgia Department of Revenue, the relationship with Department of Revenue and the tax commissioners probably wasn't the best, if I put that
Yeah.
mildly.
Yeah.
And so I said because I worked on the tax commissioner side and I knew what I had to do to try to fix it. And what I did was I immediately, when I became a director, set up an advisory committee of 5 tax commissioners along with my staff.
Wow.
To break down those barriers and say, tell me what you need us to do. How do we help you?
And I'm so glad.
And
you
that
went
was
there.
that.
I'm so glad because
Yes.
that was my next question
Yes.
to Brent.
Yes. Yes.
How are you as a fighter?
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you this, being a government employee myself, as postmaster and different things in different areas, the personality that you portray,
Right.
It's not one of those personalities that are quickly.
People gravitate to, right?
to.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. People,
right.
You know
you're
what I'm
usually
saying?
the
So,
public
yeah,
enemy number one.
Yeah. So no, I'm speaking seriously.
Yes.
Sure,
yes.
sure.
I'm speaking seriously.
Yes.
So
I'll tell you this,
You gotta
Pastor.
be a fighter. Yeah.
I wouldn't use the word fighter.
Okay, go
and I'll
ahead.
tell you why I don't use the word fighter. Because fighter means you can oppose everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I am is a change agent.
Come
Ooh,
on
I
now.
love
My
her
God.
right now.
My God.
That's
one
what
of,
I'm talking
one of
about.
my favorite words you use
Yeah,
back
change
on me
agent,
too.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah.
And that's more of an
Yeah.
HR term in
Yeah.
my
Yes.
HR background. I'm a change agent.
Yes.
In other
I
words,
love that.
I will fight for change.
Yes.
But I'm not going to fight everything.
Okay.
Right? So you have to be a collaborator and you have to understand that you're not always going to get your way. And I don't want to be perceived as somebody that always
A
wants my
dictator,
way.
yeah, Right, no.
So there, definitely, I perceive myself to be a change agent rather than a fighter.
I like
Right,
that.
good.
I like that. Yeah, because you know what? That's what we're all about, change. And I see that. Hey, Newton County, come
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
Change is coming your way. All right, I can't sing, so I would sing, but you know what? It reminds me of that song. It says, "Just change is gonna come your way." So, if you vote the right way, and if you vote for Brent Bennett for tax commissioner, man, let me tell you, you have a lot of good stuff to look forward to because we've got him right here. He's coming to you, so give him your support.
Tell me about
Again.
the early voting
Sure.
And so forth.
So early voting begins next Monday, April 29th.
Okay, very good.
In Newton County. There are actually 3 locations you can vote in Newton County on early voting. It's from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or 7 to 5. 8 to 5 actually. In early voting days, but there are 2 Saturday dates, May 4th and May the 11th as well. So come out early, come out often,
Yes.
and
Yes.
bring your friends and your family. And again, I want to preach this to people. Yes, I'm West Indian. Yes, I'm a Caribbean person, and I want you to vote for me, but I want you to do your due diligence.
Of course.
And compare my credentials to those of my opponents.
Yes.
And then you will see there's only one choice for Newton County Tax Commissioner, and that is Brent Bennett.
Yeah, love that, Brent.
Yes, love
that.
it, love it,
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, might
So-
have to take a temporary residence.
My point exactly. My point exactly.
Well, you know,
Maybe
the
move to
funny
Newton
thing
County.
is, we knock on a lot of doors.
Yes.
You'd be shocked and amazed at the number of people of Caribbean diaspora
Yes.
Yes.
that live in Newton County.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It is.
Oh yeah. It has
it's a
grown,
lot.
It's exploded.
Yes, and that's why I'm pleading here. Come out and vote for me.
Yes.
Support me. Let me be that first person of Caribbean descent that I'm aware of that would win elected office in Newton County, because we don't have any representation.
It's a done deal.
Well, that's good.
All right.
That's good. That's good.
Done deal.
Thanks, Brent,
done
for
deal.
stepping
That
up.
just brings us,
You know,
yes.
see as a role model and someone that you see a need.
Yes.
Folks
yes.
that see a need and decide that they're going to fill that need, you know.
Yes, yes.
And those are the people that I like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
It's not necessarily about the money
No.
per se.
Well, definitely not about the money
You
in this
know,
case.
yes, you know,
so
but,
I like that.
yeah.
I really like that. So we honor and we appreciate you both.
Yes, ma'am.
And we
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for coming all the way in from Newton County
Yeah.
to share your information with the folks. Get out and vote.
Please.
Brent Bennett for Tax Commissioner, Newton County.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you guys for having me again.
Of course.
Sharon,
It's a
Pastor
pleasure.
Rob, I mean, it's our pleasure being here. We love being on this program. We know the Caribbean people are listening, and they're hearing what they want to hear.
Of course.
And so I fully expect us to go out there and vote in our numbers again.
Yeah.
Early voting starts next Monday, April 29th through May 17th, with Election Day on May 21st. Let's make this happen, folks. Brent Bennett for Newton County Tax Commissioner. Thank you. Thanks for
Thank
having
you
me.
so much. And guess what? You're coming right back in here to celebrate with us.
Yes,
I
that's
will
right.
be, certainly. Thank
Yes.
you.
That's right. That's right. That's
So
right.
that's it. So thank you so much for coming in again. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just say, God is in this. Done deal. Check.
All right, Sharon.
Done deal.
Got you.
As was that Freddie McGregor, winner, like the song we played earlier. That's it, winner.
All right. Out to the voice of Mr. Tony Tuff.
Long time me out a grass to a look it. Left me girl come back here say man a look it. Long time me out a grass to a look it. Come back home I hear the DJs them a mash it. But a flash me come to flash it. A mash me come to mash it. Ram me come to ram it. A jam me come to jam it. Say long time them no hear me in the dance, but I was using other singers a chance. Long time in a chuck it in a dance, rubbing with that thing till she start to romance. But a flash me come to flash it. Oh ho, a mash me come to mash it. Ram me come to ram it. A jam me come to jam it. Oh ho.
You're looking for a home? You're looking for land? Look no further. Elite Realty, Dominica.
On shipping your items to the U.S., Southeast region, or to the Caribbean? Have you ever heard of Caribbean International Shipping? You shop, they pack, and ship. They also offer residential pickup services. Support our business, like, share, and call. For your barrel shippings, let us know. The number to call is 470-718-9675 on WhatsApp or 770-323-1111. Caribbean International Shipping, the only way to send your stuff to the islands.
Okay. Wow.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. It's approximately 9 minutes after 9. You're in tune to Caribbean Extravaganza on a Tuesday evening. Oh, we just heard from Mr. Brent Bennett, the very next
I love that.
tax commissioner
Yes.
of Newton County. And we are encouraging everyone to go out for early voting on April 29th through May 17th. Saturday voting on May 4th, 2024, and May 11th, 2024. And election day will be May 21st, 2024. Go out and I encourage you to go ahead and vote for Mr. Brent Bennett, the most qualified the most qualified
Yes,
candidate
I like that.
in the
Most
race.
qualified. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yes,
The
sir.
next Newton County Tax Commissioner.
Yes. All the way
love
from
it.
Trinidad right down there in the Caribbean, you know?
Yes, 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 yes.
Representing.
Totally. I love it. I love it. Stepping up. So, Pastor Rob, we have our next amazing guest in the house. She's on the phone lines waiting patiently. Miss Asha Richards, chairperson of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth. This
Wow.
young lady is a amazing, wonderful young lady. I mean, oh my goodness, she is packing punches. When I tell you, she prior to her role in, by the way, in the Mayor's Migration Council, I mean, Asha, I mean, has gotten so many diverse experiences. I mean, because she worked with Grants Resource Center at the
Wow.
National Endowment of Democracy. I mean, she has she's developed a team. And I mean, when I tell you that, I mean, this young lady has qualifications up to Kazudi, wherever that is. I mean, she holds a BA in political science. Okay, she's not a politician. She might as well be, because I mean, I heard her take over that microphone at the diaspora meeting the other day, and I thought, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
She is amazing. We're not going to waste any more time trying to describe what she does. Miss Asha, are you still there?
Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, beautiful.
Miss Asha.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to Caribbean Extravaganza. Tell us about your position, first of all, Madam Chair. How did that happen? And I mean, what were the qualifications? What were the prerequisites of you having that position?
Okay, so first of all, let me start by explaining what the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council is. So the council was established back in 2020 by the Jamaican Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade to, one, establish affinity and networking opportunities for second, third, and fourth generation Jamaicans back to Jamaica, as well as overall youth empowerment and finding ways for diaspora youth to contribute back to Jamaica's development.
Wow.
So how I ended up in the council, well, I had joined in the summer of 2020, August 2020. At the time, I was the president of my undergrad Caribbean Student Association. I actually had co-founded it. And the Northeast USA representative at the time had reached out to our Instagram account. And me being Jamaican, I decided to join on their informational session and shared it with the rest of the Student Association. And from there, I really resonated with the goals of the council, so I decided to join. I was very active, and the Northeast rep had to step down at the end of the year for personal reasons, and she had recommended me to take over her term. So I had served as the Northeast rep for a year, and then in 2022, there was the first general election for the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council and the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council. And I decided to run because I saw the potential of the council and had ideas of how we could move forward. And I won the general election. So I currently have a 3-year term, which ends in 2025, at the end of 2025. A 3-year term as the Northeast representative of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth Council. And as for chairmanship, the chair position rotates every year. The executive board, which is comprised of elected representatives, 2 from Canada, 2 from the UK, 3 from the US, as well as 3 representatives from youth organizations and councils in Jamaica.
Very good.
So amongst ourselves, we vote and select the chair for the year, and I was selected as chair for this year.
Wow.
Amazing. Congrats. Love it.
So Asha,
Thank you.
Where in Jamaica are you from? You know, because we like to, when we have a Jamaican on, we like to find out where you're from. You know, yeah.
Where did you originate?
Well, I was actually born and bred in the U.S.,
Oh,
but
okay,
my mother is from Westmoreland and my dad is from St. Anne, and I visit quite frequently, at least once a year. Funny
okay,
enough, I was actually christened both here and in Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
okay. All right.
So you got
So
a full baptism, huh?
yes, 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 yes,
So
Yes,
you said
yes,
St. Anne and Westmoreland, right?
yes,
yes,
You
St.
yes.
said,
Anne and
That's what she
Westmoreland.
said.
yes, nice. I like that.
Wow. So, oh
Man.
wow, a diaspora for the youth representative. So that's
Yes.
basically representing the youths. What are some of the things that you have done thus far, or for the youths in diaspora? The things that you believe stands out the most.
I would say one thing that stands out the most for me is actually a program that we are running now. Um, First of all, if for all the Jamaicans that are on the line, I highly encourage you guys to go to Jamaica for June 16th through 19th for the 10th Biennial Diaspora Conference hosted by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. But in conjunction with that, the Youth Council is currently running a Youth Innovation Challenge,
Yes.
Yes, yes,
which
yes.
asks diaspora youth, but really it is a forum to one, have diaspora youth and youth in Jamaica collaborate
Wow.
and establish networks to answer this question, which is what is the greatest obstacle Jamaica faces in regards to human development? And what this program aims to do, people can, well, registration has to, but people could register as individuals and be placed on a team or register as a team. But one of the stipulations for the teams is that one person being based in the diaspora and one person being based in Jamaica, at least one person for each.
Okay.
And you put some research behind the potential obstacle, and then through ingenuity and also their research and also lived experience, being able to posit solutions, innovative solutions to Jamaica's problems. And then the top two teams will be able to present at the 10th Biennial Diaspora Conference. And hopefully we'll be able to, not hopefully, we will be able to connect them to the relevant ministries that would fall under the topic of their choice,
Yeah.
and be able to discuss viability of the solutions.
Yeah.
So it's a form of youth empowerment by allowing youth to create ideas, because not only are we the future, but we are the now of Jamaica.
Love that.
So being
I
able
love
to
it.
create solutions for the issues that Jamaicans face now,
Yes.
but also connecting diaspora youth with youth
Yes.
in Jamaica, because oftentimes, apart from direct family members, especially as you go into the third, fourth generation Jamaicans, they don't quite have the network in Jamaica to say, "Oh, I have a friend in Jamaica," or I'd love to go and visit so and so in Jamaica. So by having this type of forum, you're kind of linking people with similar ideas, because we group people based on their selected topic.
Okay.
That is
So
amazing.
you have people that are semi like-minded
Yes.
and around a similar age group, so you can collaborate and create solutions, but also create networks in Jamaica, and hopefully that will blossom into something amazing.
Yeah, I particularly believe that's a good question to ask, and I'm interested to hear what the answers are coming from the those that live in diaspora and those that live in Jamaica. Their approaches are similar, and how they may be different. Because youths in Jamaica and youths in the diaspora actually live in two different worlds. So I'm interested to hear that dialogue And you know, I believe in the youths. The youths are definitely the future, and you are presenting opportunity for youths to dialogue,
Yes.
and to dialogue about something that's very important to the Jamaican community at home and abroad.
But I'm going to step right in and just say this though, Pastor Rob. I don't know if I agree with you there at all. I actually beg to differ because let me tell you something. What I discovered, I mean, when we were growing up, I mean, the because of lack of social media then and other stuff. I mean, even though as children, I mean, so many of us traveled and we were exposed to different cultures, different we came back and forth because of the advent of social media. I mean, back when I was growing up, there were only two stations, JBC and RJR. That's it. Now they can pick, choose, and refuse. And as a matter of fact, a child in Jamaica or any part of the world can see exactly in real time what's happening here in the United States and elsewhere. So to be honest with you, even there's a famous family on YouTube right now that does that program. The Mitchells, for example. When you hear those children speak, you would never know that they didn't go to
True,
school in the
I agree.
States. So and I have friends with children that were born and raised there in Jamaica, and actually, when you hear them, the American-born or the foreign-born children speak, you go,
Yeah.
hold up, who's who here? Because they know more about. So what I'm saying is that I really do, and I agree with that part of it. That with the idea of you trading, ideas and mentoring and bartering. I mean, coming together and sort of trading off
Well,
skills.
there are going
It's
to be
not,
similarities.
Yes,
that's for
yes.
sure.
Yes.
Based on
It's
social
just
media and so forth like
opportunities
that.
that
Yeah.
are not available. But I mean,
But as
we're
far as
getting there.
what the regionalism, growing up in Jamaica and living in Jamaica, and is a different experience. It's different. It doesn't matter how Americanized you are. The reality is that Jamaica is Jamaica, and their experience coming from Jamaicans there is going to look somewhat different. There are going to be similarities now, but so those are the challenges. I would like to hear what the challenges are and what the similarities are and so forth like that. I'd just like to hear the answer to the question that she's posing, coming from the different groups, just to see how they may vary or how similar they may be.
Yes, definitely. And that is part of why this challenge is important, because it kind of comes twofold. We're not as different as one may think. For me, for example, myself, while I might not have grown up in Jamaica, Jamaica is very much a part of my upbringing.
Yes.
So what one may think is, oh, she comes from foreign, she don't know nothing about you. I would know more than you think.
Yes, you do.
But at the same time, there's a lot that I don't know,
That's
or
correct.
people in the diaspora don't know and will not know, no matter how much books they read or social media, unless they actually interact with someone that lives there.
True.
Therefore, being able to create those connections and then
Yes.
say, okay, so these are the issues that youth like myself are facing in Jamaica, or Jamaicans are facing overall. And then you have, those that live in Jamaica that can see the problem and say, okay, this is the solution that I'm positing. But you also have those in the diaspora that have had a different experience and might approach the problem
right.
differently.
Yes.
And
That's
then
correct.
you can collaborate and come together and say, okay,
Yeah. Yes.
how can we draw from each experience and create the best solution for Jamaica's context?
Very good.
And
Yes.
that is the goal of this challenge.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm looking
that.
forward to
Yes.
when is the youth session on down there at a diaspora conference? Is there a day?
I believe it is on day 2, but the program is not quite finalized
Oh,
yet.
it's not finalized yet. So, Mr. Peter Gracie is a good friend of mine. So he keeps me up to date as far as I'm not sure if you know Mr. Peter Gracie from the Southern Diaspora
Yeah.
person here from the South. So he keeps
Yes,
me
yes.
keep me up to date on on the conference. Yeah, and that's one of the things that when I was speaking to Peter, that I told him that I was interested in. I said the youths. Wow, it's
Yes,
great
yes.
that you have the youths participating. It's good that we realize that we have to hear the voices of the youth. The voices of the youth are strong voices, and I look forward to.
You're the future.
I look forward to that. Look forward to that.
Thank you. And if there's anybody listening here that is interested in the outcomes of the Innovation Challenge, one of our aspirational goals is to have prize money for the winning team. If anybody is willing to sponsor for that, we would greatly appreciate it. If anybody is interested in sponsoring, you can either sponsor the full pool of the prize money, or you can sponsor specific place. Like I'll sponsor third place, I'll sponsor second place, or I'll sponsor the first place winner. If anybody's interested, I ask you to please email globaljau@gmail.com
And
for more information and details.
Repeat that, Ashley, please.
globaljau@gmail.com.
Perfect. And that's if they want to sponsor, you're saying, any of those sections, I mean, any prizes, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Wow.
So you know what? And is there any other point of contact, or is that it? I mean, is there any way, if a sponsor wants to see and hear more, I mean, where would they get that information? Can you provide that for us?
If you'd like to know more about the council itself,
Yes.
then you can find information on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website. I don't remember the URL off the top of my head. Hold on.
That's fine. That's fine. Take your time. Because we want to,
Yeah,
there
but,
are folks who don't know anything about, what we're talking about. And so we just want to educate them because, look, even if they don't travel there, they can contribute.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because, look, a better Jamaica, I mean, when we invest in our youth, guess what? We're really investing in our future because you are the future. And so that's what we're
Definitely.
here. That's what we're here for. I'm so proud because, I mean, that speech you gave was a drop mic moment. I mean, I was like, she's got to be on the show. And let me tell you, that was what happened. I mean, we
Right.
connected and the rest is history, Pastor Rob. I mean, we just had to get her on here because that's what, you make us so proud. You make us so proud. I mean, you make it look doable because we know it is. And keep connecting, keep those connections, keep those the mentoring open, because there's so many younger children right now in, as we would say here, middle school, elementary school. And when they see people like you that they can relate to, it gives them hope.
Yeah.
It gives them hope. So keep doing what you're doing. It's almost like that exchange program. I tell people, we need to have more of that. I mean, where we have families bringing, students here, swapping out. Let the American kids or the foreign kids, so to speak, whether they're from England, Canada, whatever part of the world, let them go to the islands and see exactly how it is to be a child growing up on the island. You know what I mean? And vice versa. Because it would just open their minds, their brains. I mean, open them up to a different world. And that's what it's all about,
Definitely. And that's actually how I ended up in my field now of international development. I grew up low income in the U.S.
Wow.
As you can imagine, my mom came, she had to basically start from scratch. And as a single mother, so we do what we can.
Yeah.
But visiting my family back in Jamaica, and the thing is, it wasn't necessarily just for a few days or something like that. Usually I'd spend the whole summer.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah.
And being there in the country, certain things that I take for granted in the U.S., even though I'm low income, there are things that I don't have to deal with that my own family members have to deal with.
Yes.
So part of my motivation for going into international development is how can I make my family's life better? How can I make Jamaicans' lives and standard of living even better than it is now. Granted, things have progressed obviously since I was a little child, but how can we advance it even more? And that is also why I do a lot of volunteer work with the youth council and such, because at the end of the day, even though, you know, my profession is international development and I work with, in my current job with mayors around the world. And for example, recently, last week, I was at the UN ECOSOC Youth Forum.
Okay.
Interacting with people around the world, but at the end of the day, Jamaica will always be at the forefront of my efforts. But one thing that I will say to you, definitely, if you can visit Jamaica and visit your family, especially if, you know, they live out in the country, I would highly recommend it just to give you some perspective. But just know that a lot of how I got to where I am is obviously, yes, preparation and doing well and everything. But also it's, you know, well, I don't like to say luck, but, you know, blessings from God. It's always about,
Amen.
you know, blessings and preparation.
Yes.
Opportunity and preparation.
Yes.
You always have to be prepared for whatever opportunity might come your way.
Yeah.
It might not be now. It might be a few years from now.
That's right.
But you have to make sure you're ready. As they say, you know, stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
That's
All right.
it.
Love that.
And
Love
as my
that, Asha.
slogan for my
Yeah.
nonprofit says, when access meets opportunity, because you have to be ready.
You know, and Asha,
Love that.
I'm going to break it down for you. Yeah, man. Sometimes you have to go there and live there for a little while. And I mean, you know, instead of going and spend your 2-3 days and run around on the beach, go and spend a month.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah, I love
but
that.
she's right though. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
those kids that live
Yes.
here that really, you know, have opportunities, have the life when they get to, I mean, a different space.
Yes.
Even children that are raised to right here, you know, I mean, in a nice home. When you take them to give back, when you take them to the orphanages here, right here in America, and you say, hey, give back. Look at these kids. They only have one pair of shoes if they have a pair of shoes. Right here in America, this great big America. So you know what? It's all about perspective.
Yeah.
We have to expose the youth and let them know that, hey, manna doesn't fall from the sky. You've got to earn your keeps. You don't get it for free. You got to earn it. And that's what I hear when you speak. And I, you know, just look, big up your mom. Just let her know she did a wonderful
Excellent
and amazing job raising a wonderful human being. You know, Miss Asha. Really proud of you. Really big up. Enough big ups to you.
Looking forward to the diaspora conference, okay?
Yes.
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 Yes, looking forward to it as well. Make sure you guys get your tickets.
Okay.
And I hope to see you guys at the conference.
Yeah, I think
Well, it was nice
I've
having
sent
you.
my press pass in already, so you know.
You know, and sure enough, I'm being Asha. It's all right, man. I mean, just
you know,
surprise him
gotta send
and
my
get here
press,
now.
get my press. Well, you know, my press pass include a pass for Sharon if she needs one. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, that's live, so I got that on record now.
Well, I mean, whether you got it on record or not, you know what I'm saying?
It's a done deal.
It's a done deal. But
I appreciate it. It
Miss
was
Asha,
great.
keep
Yes.
on doing the work that you're doing.
Yes, yes.
You are
Make
making
us
a
proud.
difference.
Yes,
We'll-
yes,
and
we're
yes, we
proud.
say ordinary people doing
Doing
extraordinary
extraordinary
things,
things,
and that's Asha for us. And looking forward to the things that you will do in the future. This is only a
Yes,
start for
yes.
you. You know.
Jamaica's next
Yeah.
Prime
Thank
Minister,
you so
Governor
much.
General, whatever.
Don't know about
the
all of
sky's
that,
the
but
limit.
we'll see.
All right.
Hey, our UN representative, our next ambassador.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Who knows whatever God has in store for me.
that's it.
I love
That's
that.
it. I
I
love
love
it.
that.
Love you, Miss Asha. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you.
Thank
Have
you
a
for
good
the
one now.
opportunity.
You're welcome.
You too.
Look forward to talking to you again. She's a winner, indeed. And she is a winner indeed. We ended with Miss Asha Richards, the chairperson of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Youth. Wonderful. Keep doing amazing things, my dear.
Yes, indeed, Sharon. So it looks like
It's
we
that
have
time.
wrapped
Again,
up another
wow.
interesting
Time flies
show.
when we're having fun.
Yeah. You know, we had some serious interviews
We
on
did,
this
we
week,
did,
and
we
you
did,
know,
we did.
I wish all our guests this evening
All the best.
all the best in
Yes.
their respective
Their
careers.
Yes.
And of course, Mr. Brent Bennett, you know, the best in the election coming up.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
very good.
Yes. So it's that time of the evening again where we say so long and thank you for joining Caribbean Extravaganza right here at Caribbean Life TV and Radio, Stone Mountain, Georgia. Until next Tuesday, 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. See ya. Peace and blessings.
The wait is over. Friday, May 17th, T2O Carib Splash presents the return of Sizzler.